All right. Well, thank you everybody for hopping on. We really appreciate it. And we appreciate everybody getting on. Feel free to have your cameras rolling. We love to see your pretty faces, everybody. So without further ado, I want to get into it and I want to give a warm welcome to the man of the hour. Today we're joined by somebody who truly embodies what it means to be build a business worth owning. From starting out with nothing but drive and determination to leading one of the top real estate teams in the entire country, James Hern has proven what's possible when you combine consistency, mindset, and commitment to growth. He's not only a powerhouse agent and leader, but he's also a director of one-on-one coaching at Glover U, where he's helping agents nationwide level up on their habits, their results, and their lives. So on top of all that, it's crazy amount of stuff he does. He's the founder of Hern Helps, a charity that's making a real impact on communities across the country. So without further ado, please help me welcome the man who went from zero to a seven-figure business and an example of leadership and giving back, James Hern.
Hello, everyone. Hey, it's great to see everybody. Just for clarity, I have known Brian and Heather for more years than I want to admit, right? Uh, been in this business for like 31 years, so been around it for a long time, but appreciate the opportunity to visit with you guys. It's an honor to be here. So feel free, ask whatever you'd like to ask. I'm an open book.
Well, we appreciate that. And we're going to go through some things here. And then with about 15 minutes left, all the agents on here, write your questions down and we'll get after those. And if any of these questions jog anybody's memory, feel free to write them down. We'll ask at the end. All right. So to kind of get into it, you built one of the top real estate teams in the country. Can you take us back to how it started and what you did in those early years?
Yeah, I would love to do that. My brother Michael is my business partner. So we built this together, and we actually are kind of yin and yang. We have different strengths, and it has played well for us. The one thing we do have in common is that we love our people and we love our clients. We adopted early on just kind of a mantra for our team that was just simply two words, and it's serve first. That's what we look to do in everything that we do. We look to do that with our clients. We look to do that with our agents. But literally, I remember it like it was yesterday when I tell you how we started. I was a single agent, and Michael and I grew up in a small community, a small town, which when we grew up was probably 5,000 people. It's 10 or 11,000 people now. And I started as an agent there and instantly went to the number one agent in that office. And I'm like, and by the way, I owned a construction company. I was building houses. I owned a Christian bookstore and office supply company. I had multiple businesses. And I'm like, this isn't too hard, right? I was wrong. I was wrong. This is hard, right? This is a lot of work. But what I did discover was what was possible. So that was exciting. But what happened was I ended up having an opportunity to, I was getting attention from some people. And I got some attention from another industry, the mortgage industry. So I got sucked into that for a little bit. And Michael's like, I'm thinking about getting my license. What's this like? Can I make this much money? And I said, absolutely, you can. So we literally started uh, he was taking all my clients and I was feeding him, doing all his mortgages, and we were working back and forth. And we did that for quite some time until my company, which was a big company, the mortgage company, I rose to be second in the nation with them. I was running this company. We discovered, and by the way, that was when things started getting not so fun to be in the mortgage industry.
I believe it.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is stinking, you know. And one of my offices, we had a Keller Williams in the same office. We owned the building, and we saw an opportunity, and it just so happened it was with Mark King. He was the OP at that office. And we ended up, I went to Michael and talked to him, and I decided I'm stepping out of the mortgage industry. We're going to start a team just because we thought we could work together. That'd be fun. So So that's what we did. And we started that team. And I literally remember thinking my brother was insane when he told me, hey, we can close 100 deals a year, right? And we closed 117 deals that first year. So I'm like, okay, we can do this. And so we started with this wonderful, I've got this red book back here over my shoulder that you probably can't see, but we're like, wonder what this thing says. So we started reading that. And yes, yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
And decided maybe we needed some support. So we brought in an assistant, and then it just kind of blew up from there. And just opportunities started just coming from everywhere. And it's funny how when you're good to people, when you care about people, your business multiplies pretty quickly. So we literally went from 117 to 200 to 270 to 350, and it just kind of happened like that. It just kept going. So it's been a fun ride, but it was not easy. But the formula works. That's in that red book.
Mhm.
It works
Oh
very.
yeah.
So we literally, if I'm going to point to anything, I'm going to point to that red book and go, hey, you need to follow this thing because it certainly set us up. So that's kind of the foundationally where we came from, how we got there.
I love that. That's very inspiring. And yeah, the smart people wrote that red book.
They kind of did. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Well, so I heard a lot. You mentioned your brother. So it sounds like it was a good investment, time wise with getting your brother involved.
It was 100%. I got him involved. He's one of these people that he knows every person he's ever met's name, street address, how much they paid for that house when they bought it. I'm like, what is wrong with you? He forgets nothing, right? And he's a couple doors away from me, but I bet he can hear me. The guy also has bionic hearing. He can hear through a wall or anything. So, so be careful what you say around him. But no, it's so much fun. I get asked all the time. I work with my brother. How can you do that?
Hmm.
And I coach a lot of siblings. I coach spouses that work together. It's never been a deal because we know we're not going anywhere. We care about each other. We care about each other's family. Every once in a while, you might have some heated discussions, but it all rights itself very quickly.
Perfect. Hope you like the same football team, so you don't have to worry about that
We
discussion.
do. We don't worry about that. We don't worry.
Well, so a lot of people, and we talk about this all the time, where habits come into play, and you want to have really strong habits every day. So, what daily or weekly habits would you say made the biggest difference in reaching the level that you're at?
Uh, that's actually some of the simplest stuff I can tell you, right? Lead generation is key. Uh, when we interview somebody, we make sure they know and understand real estate is a lead generation business. You have to talk to people or you're going to starve to death, right? That's what you
Hmm.
have to do. It doesn't matter if you're getting leads or not. It's literally you've got to do lead generation. The second most important thing, which could really be the first because it falls in that, is following a schedule. And by that, I mean, I coach people all over North America and I coach some of the biggest producers that exist in this country. And the one thing they all have in common is they actually follow their schedule. So moments before this, and I was telling you, John, that I literally I was doing. Most of you know Laura Gillot. I was doing Laura's team advance. I was doing a segment for her, and so I had it all time. I was following my schedule, and somebody walked in my office because I was planning on being on with you a little bit early and kind of visiting. And if we let something creep into our schedule, it can throw our entire day off, right? And if we follow that schedule, if you only follow your schedule 80% of the time, you will outperform 99.9% of the agents in this country. I'm just telling you.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
those are the two most important things you can do, lead gen and following that schedule.
I love that. And Heather recently helped me create a new schedule, a new outline. So I definitely get that now.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, and I just want to touch base really quickly. You talked about habits and lead generation. What
Mhm.
types of lead generation do you do or do you have your team doing?
Uh, we're we all kind of do a little bit different variation of that. Mine is split because I do some lead generation around new agents as well.
Mm,
It's not just about sellers and buyers, but we're all on the phone. Uh, we use the opportunity to get into what we call our pool, which are basically older leads that, in all honesty, have way more opportunity of popping than the one you just got this morning,
hmm
because those people, the majority of them, it's 6 to 18 months before they do anything, and they're just sitting there. Agents are lazy as a whole, uh, me included. You think that one that calls is the easy one? It's not necessarily the easy one. Sometimes they've been sitting there, they're just waiting for the person to call. So literally, Michael yesterday, I saw him go in his office, close his door. I did not see him for 5 hours, right?
hmm
Now, and I can hear him on the phone the entire time. That's what consistency looks like. That's what true lead generation looks like. Most people aren't committed to an hour, let alone 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. However,
hmm
if you do that, your business explodes. It explodes. And it's not talking about the weather, right?
Yep. Moving your business forward.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh,
That's right.
so what I'm hearing is you do the work, you make the phone calls, you succeed.
100%. I mentioned that I work with my brother, who's my business partner, but I have two grown sons that are on the team as well. That they actually office in the same office together, which is how Michael and I started out. People used to make fun of us, but that's also kind of your superpower. You
Oh
you
yeah.
play off of each other. It's their superpower as well. But they're in there grinding through expireds and through old leads all day long, and closing things right and left, showing people right and left, making things happen. So it's fun.
That's awesome. Do you enjoy working with your sons as well?
I do. I don't see them very much, but
That's a
because
good thing.
we're all different. I've been in 2 or 3 different cities already this week. It's just kind of that happens sometimes,
Mhm.
but I do enjoy working with them. And I think I tell my wife we must have done something right if they saw something in what Michael and I were doing that they're like, we want to do that too. We want to be a part
Mhm.
of that. Of course, they did that after they both went to college and spent a couple hundred grand a piece from me, but they waited till that was all over. But
Right.
great agents, awesome agents. My youngest son, I would put him up against anyone as far as scripts are concerned. You
Oh
can't,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, he's very good, very good.
That's awesome. I love that. So we were talking a little bit about mindset, and your weekly
Mhm.
habits.
Mhm.
So if you miss one of those habits, what impact do you notice most, in your results or your mindset?
Well, it, ironically, I was just on the phone with an agent this morning who she was very upset with herself because I'd been talking to her for the past several months about she was so busy, so busy. She couldn't lead generate. I'm like, you've got to lead generate.
Mm,
You have to make that work. You have to find the time. It doesn't matter how busy you are. Gary Keller says, old business never gets in the way of new business. Old business is what you got going, the deals you got happening right now. They're under contract. You are searching for new business first. Then you go
mhm,
to the other. She came to the realization that she'd messed herself up, and she has. I said, here's the good news. You're going to be great come January 1. And by the way, uh, following what she had done, she had increased her production 40% in the past 11 months, right?
mhm,
In 10 months, really. So she's not worried about money. She's worried about losing momentum. And that's what happens. That's why we see that wonderful roller coaster. It's because if we let that one thing go, and in my case, the two I told you, lead gen and the calendar, they're kind of one and the same. If I let that go, it will mess me up potentially for months if I
mhm.
don't correct it very quickly. If I miss a day because I was sick or I was out of the office, I will survive, but I'm going to look to make it up somewhere else.
Oh yeah. Yep. You don't make your 20 contacts today, you can split it up or make 40 contacts tomorrow.
That's right. That's 100% right. I talked to one of my clients this morning, a coaching client that literally he had got back from the event I was just speaking at, and he said, I got back, got on the phone, did 20 dials, and I set uh, 2 appointments and got three other opportunities for next week. I said, that's awesome. I said, how many people did you talk to? Six.
Mm.
So out of the 20, he only talked to six people. He turned that into five things. I'm like, I think you should be on stage teaching stuff like that, right?
Oh
It's,
yeah,
but the point is, it's consistency. It's just about making sure it happens, right?
I I love that. So, with all of that, and one thing that our agents, sometimes they just struggle, and they are stagnant. And I'm just curious, what separates in your mind agents who grow rapidly from those who stay stagnant?
Mhm. Agents that grow rapidly, it's a consistency thing. It
Mhm.
truly is. It's one simple word. It's consistency. If you're stagnant, it's because you're consistent at the wrong thing, right?
Hmm. Yep.
You're consistent at getting in 2 hours after you should have been in. You're consistent at uh, not getting ready. You're at the water cooler. You're getting coffee, whatever. You're visiting with people. When I'm working, my door is closed. If it's open, they know they can come in and ask me something. Like I mentioned before, I made the mistake. I just walked in my office and left the door open, setting some stuff up, and somebody walked in, right? Uh, the other end is the consistency and just what the example I gave of the lady I was talking about this morning. She fell out of consistency of being on the phone. When she was on the phone, her production increased by 40%. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't know how most people are, but most people, if you got a 40% raise, it's life changing, right? So if you could be consistent in the right things every single day, it will change your life for the better. It will make you a stronger agent. You'll service your clients better. They'll get better service from you, and in turn, feed you more people.
Hmm.
Consistency breeds opportunity. So that's truly what the difference is. Pretty simple.
I love that. I love what you said. 40% raise is life changing. And I don't think
Oh,
agents think about themselves getting a raise when they do
no, they
that.
don't. They do not. But
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what we tell people in our meetings too. So I want to touch base. Well, actually, before that, if there's an agent who is listening right now, what is the very first action you would tell them to take in the morning? So if a struggling agent is listening, what's that first action they should take in the morning?
First action is, well, I told you I started 31 years ago,
Mhm.
and when you're struggling, you do things that you might not do if you were consistently in a routine, right? Uh, I was in this business before we all had a computer in our pocket.
Yes.
And I literally knew, yeah, so was Brian. I see you, Brian. So I I knew that if I got to the office before anyone else, that I was going to do better than everybody else. And here's what would happen back then. People actually called the office because they saw signs or they saw a newspaper ad because they didn't all have a computer in their pocket. But there was something else that happened when I was in the office. The owner was in the office. I was in the office every morning at 6 a.m. And the owner also was a builder. And I can tell you, I had people that were good people that couldn't get a loan for this, that, or the other. I'd be at his office at 6 in the morning and I would walk in and go, hey, I've got Brian and Heather, and they had this hardship where this happened and that happened, but they're great people. They've got a down payment. Would you be willing to help them? And he would always say yes. And so literally, I would answer the phone, I would put deals together, people would ask me questions. Be willing to do what other people won't do, whatever that is for you. Most usually, that's doing more open houses. Open houses are still killer in most parts of the country. I know that Florida's been hit pretty hard in the condo market, right? And that's made life a little bit harder. I've got clients
A
in
little.
on the Miami side, trying to sell $10 million condos, good luck. It's tough. But that is pretty much be willing to do what no one else is willing to do. That is what gets everyone where they're at. I don't care if you're Elon Musk. I don't care who you are. They were willing to do something differently than everybody else. And that starts honestly with the routine of what you're doing. So I would get up and I would be in the office, even though there's not paper faxes that roll up into a ball like they used to be when I was in there and one computer for the whole office. Opportunity still lives with wherever your office is, if that's your kitchen table. Uh, Sit down and write cards to the people that you spoke to yesterday. If you didn't get that done, make sure that's going out. No one else is doing that, right? Make sure that you're knocking on doors in neighborhoods that maybe you just sold in, or an area that you would like to sell in that houses are selling in. Go knock on the doors saying, we just sold the house down at the house was just sold down at 1234 Main Street. Others are still trying to get in this neighborhood. Who do you know that's interested in selling their home right now? Any rumors you're hearing? You're not asking them specifically if it's them. They're going to tell you if it is, but you get deals, you get opportunities that way. So
I love that.
those are the things I would be doing.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And you mentioned the fax. I think I might be too young. What is that? No, I'm kidding. Just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They used to have these landlines too, you know?
Oh man, I remember a dial-up. My nana would have like you do the thing. I played
Yeah,
that with that.
yeah.
Um, so one thing I want to talk about as well. You're not only a top producer and you run your team successfully, but you're also director of the one-on-one coaching at Glover U. How did coaching play a role in your success early on?
I purposely didn't mention it earlier because I knew this question was probably coming. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and I think Heather and Brian know Mandy, which was our first coach, but we hired a coach, uh, Mandy Pratt now. And Mandy was a game changer for us. And the reason she was a game changer is she made you think about the things we're all too busy to think about. She made you ask the questions that we don't ask ourselves because we're in too big a hurry. We're drivers, we're wanting to get this deal done. Uh, I literally remember, and I'm just 100% honest here. Keep in mind, I'm the one-on-one director of a very large, successful coaching company. Uh, I literally was getting on that call mad at how much we were paying for that coaching. That was the first 15 minutes of the call. And the last 15 minutes was, no, 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 don't get up. Tell me more about that. Tell me what to do. That's what it was. She was worth her weight in gold. And she was our coach for 7 years. And the only reason we changed coaches is she made a change and she went and did something else, right? Or
Mhm.
we would have kept right along with her. I still stay in contact with her continually. She's a great lady. But what she did was she made us think differently about what we were doing. She challenged us to build bigger and better. And there was one thing that is very valuable. And if you have a coach and they're not doing it, ask them to do it. The one thing she did was introduce us to people like Brian, right? Introduce us to people that were ahead of us in our game. I was with Lance Loken a couple days ago. uh, he was one of the people that we met with early on to try to figure out, how are you doing this? How are you doing these incentives with your team? How are you growing this? Heather knows all too well that we jumped right into expansion, right? Because Heather used to shuffle quite a few files for us back in the day. Back when we were going from city to city and all that kind of stuff. So coaching was like the monumental move that we made. And I saw how valuable that was and what a difference that made. And that truly led me to where I am coaching today for that very reason. The Jeff Glover, which is huge agent inside of Keller Williams, owns Glover U, amazing individual. But I caught his vision for what he was doing with these people and how he was making a difference in their lives. And I'm like, I want to do that. I want people to live their unreal life. And to be honest, I take a pay cut every time I take 30 minutes to do a coaching call, and I get paid in tenfold in what happens to me and the feeling that I get. It goes back to that serve first attitude, right? It is so fulfilling. And I can only imagine how great Mandy felt when she took two dumb country boys like Michael and I, and we were actually able to build something. So,
Oh, and yeah, and it seems like a theme with you and your business, Serve First, and so many other leaders. We have a new team leader, Ben, and he
yeah,
was talking about serving first mentality, and I love that.
yeah, it's awesome.
I love that. Well, so if I could steal a piece of coaching advice, or some of our agents could steal a piece of coaching advice that might have completely changed how you approached business,
Hmm.
was there a word of advice that was given to you that flipped a switch?
Hmm. Uh, I think it really goes back to kind of what Mandy was directing us to do. Number one, my brother hates this word, process. It's a process, okay?
Yep.
And he used to get so frustrated, but things compound, right? Things compound. So we really have to take sometimes two step forward and one step back to get where we want to go, but literally building upon what you're doing each and every day. Uh, Tracking what you're doing is very, very important. And I'm going to tell you the way we got to that 117, again, I thought he was insane. I thought there's no way because I had been a single agent. I could do 30, 32 deals pretty easily just by myself with no assistance. Um, on the back of our door in the office that we shared, as corny as it looked, he literally took a ruler and made a graph with 120 boxes on it. And every time we closed one, we checked one off. Yeah. Yeah. Just that good old thermometer looking thing. And so every day when you close that door, you're like, how is that possible? How are we
Mhm.
getting closer to that? And then all of a sudden you're there. So tracking numbers to know and understand what it's taking you to get where you're at and getting clarity around that is a game changer. And then I already mentioned it once, but figure out who's where you want to be so you can go talk to them and figure out what they did to be where they're at or what they're doing. I literally just got off with Laura Gelat's team, and when Michael and I wanted to start doing events at a big level, huge level, we went and talked to Laura. We took our team and our team leads, and we went and talked to her because she's well known for that. And then all of a sudden, we started having events with 3,500 people at them. It just it you learn from the people that know what they're doing, how to do it. You just become better and just keep building. Again, you don't do an event with 3,500 people the first event you do. It might be 35 people. Steps
Mhm.
steps its way up. So again, going back to that wonderful word consistency as well. You're just building upon it and it compounds, it multiplies.
Yep. And just what we had a comment, success leaves clues.
That's right.
I
100%.
love that. And I'm a firm believer too that you want to surround yourself with people above you so you can keep growing.
That's right. That is absolutely right.
I love that. So, also, things that I want to talk about too is, can you tell us more about Hearn Helps and what inspired you to start that?
Sure. We give back in a huge way, and that's always been kind of our heart. And what we found was when you give it away to an entity that may be a great entity, you don't really know what happens to it. You don't really know who gets it. And so we are very, and uh, it about made me cry a little bit because my wife's a school teacher and she just retired. And this is her second year out. But nothing touches my heart more than children. And seeing kids hurt kills me.
Mhm.
So we make a lot of difference with kids and hunger, uh, clothing, school supplies, things of that nature. Um, we give multiple six figures a year to help the people in our community. And that is who we are at our heart. I learned it from the best. Mo Anderson, made sure that Michael and I knew and shared to those that are entrusted with much, given much, much is requested. And we literally want to stand up and do that for people. So we were giving, and we still do, to things like Special Olympics, and we have Harvesters Food Bank here and things of that nature. We do a lot of those types of things, but we wanted to be able to see the faces of the people that we were helping, deliver those checks ourselves, those clothes, those items. And we do that as a team. We do that together. At Christmas time, we literally do things like Operation Christmas Child, where uh, we go purchase everything as a team. We literally go shopping to all these places to get this stuff and then come back. We make it a party. We're getting food. We're putting those things together. We're paying to ship. We're delivering the shipments and all that kind of stuff. Any way we can help people, we're going to do that. I do that at a national level too. I think finally somebody probably wrote Keller Williams a letter and said, please do not let James do the inspirational prayer anymore at the inspirational breakfast, because uh, I guess nobody wanted to do it because they kept asking me year after year after year. And finally, I'm like, I gotta do that again. Okay. But the point is simple. There's a lot of hurting people out there, a lot of different reasons, and whatever tugs at your heart, uh, it's God trying to tell you you need to get involved with something. So we do that. We also helped create, and I am the chairman of the board of another charity called the Heartland Partners in Caring, and that is specifically targeted for our agents, the agents of Keller Williams throughout our area. It is totally copied off of KW Cares. We had to get their permission to do it 15, 18 years ago. We give away hundreds of thousands of dollars a year through that charity to families who, unfortunately, sometimes people pass away and they can't afford funerals and things like that. We help with that. We help people that have medical issues, help those in need with anything that they're not doing to themselves, right? If they're doing something that can't be, giving them money's not going to fix it. We can't. We're not going to do that. But we'll help with all those types of things. But that's kind of our heart and who we are. Hearn Helps is kind of our side personally, what we can do with it, and we help in all those other ways as well. But serve first is more than just a mantra. It's kind of how we live.
I appreciate that. That's
So,
um, yeah, it's speechless. I like that. Thank you.
uh,
So, and okay. So how does and you might have spoke about this a little bit with that answer, but how does giving back through your charity shape the culture and purpose for your business?
it lets us all know that we have a bigger purpose than just selling a house, right?
Mhm.
That's the vehicle that we use to be able to do the things that are truly important in this world. Um, I think you had Vanessa Pollock on here, right?
Yep.
Like recently. I'll never forget a couple months ago, my wife and I are watching something on YouTube that we'd heard about at church, and it was 50 states in 50 days. It was a fundraiser for St. Jude's Hospital. And we had missed the first 10 days or 15 days or something. And we got on watching it, and it was a social media personality, YouTuber by the name of Ryan Trahan and his wife. And they were literally trying to raise $1 million going from this state to that state, doing this fun stuff and trying to get people to donate and all that. And at the end of every night, they would scroll people that gave money, $5,000 or more. And the very first night I watch it, Vanessa's name's up there, the Pollock Properties Pollock Group. And I'm like, this is awesome. These kids are good, clean cut people raising money for St. Jude's. Their goal was $1 million. By the way, they raised $11 million. Uh, but it when you give, it becomes contagious. So literally seeing people like Vanessa do that inspire you to do more. So to be honest, I got lost in my answer. I was so excited because I saw Vanessa. I don't even remember what the question was. It just literally um, giving breeds more giving because it's more blessed to give than receive.
Yeah. And I love what you said. Giving is contagious.
It is 100%,
Oh yeah,
100%.
we have our at church we have our giving day and it's just more and more and more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I go to a small church. You know, we have less than 200 people that attend every Sunday. My
Mhm.
brother goes to a large church. He has 7,000 people every Sunday, and he can raise in one day what my church would take them 10 years to raise. So I just watch it, but it's literally about do we capitalize in a positive way off of the relationships that we have to help people that need help.
Do you quiz your brother on all 7,000 of those people's names, phone numbers, and emails?
He knows those things. He does. I will tell you, he and I both. Kristen Cole is a very good friend of ours, which is a huge agent in Keller Williams, and she taught us years ago through the charity things that we were doing with her, what John Maxwell taught her, which is, you know, if we join together, we give way more. And John would say, "I'll give you $10,000 if you can raise $10,000. I'll give you 50,000 if you can raise 50, whatever it is." When you do stuff like that, more people join in. And what that does is build community. And I don't know if you realize it or not, but that's what we're doing with our real estate business. We're building a community. So let's
Hmm.
build a community that helps us help them, right?
Yep. Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. So and with the community mindset and just your mindset in general,
Hmm.
where did that shift happen where you went from a salesperson to the leader of a $1 billion team?
Hmm. Uh, here's something that I've probably been quoted somewhere as saying, I've never sold a house in my life, but I have thousands and thousands and thousands of past customers. It's about education. We're educating people what their options are. We're educating them and they make the decision. I feel like I've never been a salesperson, but what I did see, know, and learn through the honestly, the ability of having a coach was when you're good at what you do, and you care about people, you can build something really big. And so that's what we look to do. Where we've been at for several years is we're very comfortable, which we all get there. Like we're comfortable with where we're at. And I always ask, and it's to get myself motivated, who are we cheating out of a blessing by not being the best we can be? Right? Who are we cheating out of a blessing? And I have my boys who are now part of our organization, which, you know, we have a lot of agents, but I know they're going to want to be here when I decide I'm not going to be doing this every day, right? Or
Mhm.
the Lord takes me away, right? So I should be looking to grow each and every day. So I'm going to tell you, I don't feel like I'm a salesperson, nor ever was. I feel like I've been blessed with the opportunity to see what can grow and what's possible. But it's all possible through one word, and it's skills, right? We have to hone our skills as agents. We have to work to get better. That's why you need a coach. That's why you should have someone directing you. That's why, at a minimum, if you're a single agent, you're plugging into the office and getting the training and everything that you can get from them to make you better each and every day till you do get to the point where I am doing so well. I need to step this up. I need to hire somebody to help me, whatever that might look like or be. Uh, that would be my answer there, Brad. So,
I appreciate that. And the biggest takeaway from that, I think our agents can attest to that, is hone your skill, come in the office, take advantage of the classes and speakers like yourself, and really just fine tune yourself to be the best person you could be.
right, right.
I love that. Well, thank you for that answer.
Yep.
So, two more questions for you, and then we'll open it up to the floor. So, how can I'll ask this in a second, but what's the best advice you've received that still drives you today?
The best advice that still drives me today. I would probably simply say that it's um, my original coach just challenging me in the respect of I will tell you when I started in the business, I went in and talked to my first boss because I didn't know anything about real estate. I didn't know it was 100% commission.
Mhm.
And when he told me it's 100% commission, I didn't know if I could do that. I had a wife and, small kid at home and didn't know if I could do that. But he told me he believed in me. And I told him I didn't think I could go 100% commission. I went out and sat in my car and I sat there and I thought, he believes in me. Why don't I believe in myself? Why do I not believe in myself? And is his belief enough to help me do what I need to do? And so I got out of my car and went back in and told him, hey, if you believe in me, like you say you believe in me, I want to try this. Right. And I never looked back. And I still say those things to people today that I see it in, that I see they want it, that I know there's talent there, that I know there's skills there. That literally, I'm not truly calling it advice, but what I'm calling it is challenging me to, who do you want to be?
Hmm.
Who do you want to be, and how do you want to show up for your family? And that simple conversation, that simple statement made me second guess what's possible, because that unreal life, that life by design is right out there. It's right in front of you. And I pray somebody gives you the advice that you can do it. I believe in you and I'll help you do it. I can't do it for you, but I'll help you do it.
Sounds like you overcame that limiting belief.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
I was having to get over that limiting belief. And I swear to God, there is no telling how much more money I have made, as would anyone if they really pour. A company is betting on you when they offer you a salary. They're just betting way under what you really are worth. And I heard a quote the other day, and it was something to the effect of, when you realize what you're worth, you'll never discount yourself again. And that is true.
Mhm.
When you really know what you're worth, you'll never discount yourself again.
I love that. That's awesome. And it's a great quote. I was listening to a podcast and they mentioned something along the same lines.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's what it was. I think it was a podcast, but I thought that is so true, and we can be guilty of that for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah. So how can agents connect with you, follow your journey, learn more about coaching, and ultimately also learn more about Hearn Helps, and importantly, possibly send referrals to you?
Yeah, absolutely. We all love those referrals, right? Yeah, for
Hmm.
sure. Well, referrals are real easy. And you can reach out to us at info@hearnhomes.com, which is our email that we get a lot of that at. My email is james@hearnhomes.com. Uh, I want you to know I'm available to answer questions or help in any way that I can too. That is one of the great things about the size our team has grown to be, is I have very good leverage, and I can direct you somewhere that maybe someone else couldn't. And my direct phone line is 816-797-0756. And that's just if you have a question or you want to send a text or what. We literally, I mean, Brian and Heather know this. We get referrals from everywhere and we give referrals everywhere. Kansas City happens to be one of the fastest growing cities in the country right now. And a lot of people are moving here, but there's a lot of people getting transferred too. So we want to be the one that helps you. Um, as far as Hearn Helps or anything, I would challenge you to look at Mandy's the one that got us into that. Mandy was basically like, use a charity, use the people around you to help feed those charities, and it's okay to get business from that. It's okay to get business from that. I remember helping the Special Olympics, and they were at our one of our major events. We do a fireworks event the weekend before 4th of July every year, and it is incredible. We'll have thousands and thousands of people there, but I had Special Olympics there. They were one of our guests, and they sent their national speakers, so two of their kids. Uh, it is so moving to watch the parents of those children that you have on stage, that you're you're questioning and ask them questions. They are so proud. And we still do business with those people. They literally send us business all the time. Um, you're changing lives. We discount what we do to we're just selling houses. We're just whatever. We we're selling somebody's house. We're changing people's lives for the better. And most of the time you feel like it's something good. Sometimes it's something hard. They need somebody that cares. They need a skilled professional. They need somebody like you that is looking to serve them, make a difference, and just leave them better than you found them. Right?
Yes. Yeah, I appreciate that. And we
Yeah.
have Loretta said, love my Kansas City. So hometown.
Ah, awesome. Hey, Loretta.
Well, with that, I appreciate all of those answers, and I will open it up to anybody on Zoom here have any questions. Come off mute and feel free to ask James.
Hey James, we appreciate having you on today. It's fun to have you with this group. Tell us a little bit about what is your current, how many units are you doing? What GCI, what does your team look like? Because you're doing a lot, and I think it'd be good for them to have. And then how many locations are you in?
Well, our world has changed a lot over the past several years because at the time when Heather was helping us a lot, we had our director of growth was a Bolt coach. And, he was going around and everyone that saw him, they wanted to be a part of whatever company he was a part of. So we did all of that wrong. We literally ended up, we're in Kansas City, we were in Houston, we were in Jacksonville, we were in Orlando, we were in North Carolina, we were in Houston, where it was all over the place. It didn't make any sense and wasn't the way it was built. We honed that all back in to be like we're Missouri, Kansas, relate kind of within a few hours, the way Gary intended it to be. And what has happened is it's been much more profitable for us. We're around $100 million team. Have over 5,000 past clients. As far as transactions, I have not seen the number, but we're usually around 350, 400 units is where we're at. And as I said, we kind of got complacent in the respect of we were kind of okay with where we were. But what we did this last year was we shed some agents. We like cut our team in half because we decided we're going to build people who are committed to serve first, people that are committed to make a difference in people's lives. And that's the people we're after. And those are seasoned agents that are skills driven. And so that's where we're at, Brian, right now, and looking to grow bigger, but mainly looking to grow better. Honestly, wanting to be better at what we do and treat people in a higher way. But again, back to what I said, we have to make more money to help more people. So
Mhm.
that's where we're at.
Exactly. Thanks for the answer. Thanks for the question, Brian.
Yep.
Anybody else on there? Oh, Faith, do you have a question? Looks like you're on mute. Yep.
I think she's trying to get off mute.
Yeah.
McKenna looks like she's got a question there, Brad.
Yeah, McKenna.
First, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to talk to everybody about this. I personally got so much value from learning how you built your business. But my main question, I also have a brother. What made you guys sit down and actually say we can get along enough to do it? Because I don't know about you, but me and my brother butt heads pretty consistently. So how did you handle a business aspect and family aspect?
Well, I may have had a little bit of a cheat to begin with because we grew up in our family's business. We had a commercial construction company. But I will tell you that he and I butted heads way more in that company when we were growing up and going to college and all that, because we had different. I was in the office schmoozing people. That was my job, and he was out, working in the field. I think it is you figure out what we did was we divided the house. We decided who would do what. And that has continued to this day. And Michael has younger kids right now, and mine are all grown. So anything that requires us to have a presence out of town, go see something, go teach something, go be at an event potentially, he doesn't always go to those things. I go in our place to represent us. And so literally it would be, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Does the other complement those things? And then just agree that everything's not going to be perfect all the time. But the one thing I can tell you is you're always brother and sister. You can't get rid of each other. So we got to make this thing work. And there are occasional blow ups. And I think guys are probably worse than a brother and sister would be in the respect of, saying or doing anything about it. But we also just kind of let it roll off our backs. But it's the biggest key has been divide and conquer. And there are many times, and I don't know how you would set it up, but we found ourselves to be better if we went together on listing appointments because we can finish each other's sentences or fill the holes that someone would obviously see because we know the weakness of the other one. And anytime we go together, we don't ever lose a listing, ever,
Wow.
ever. It's never happened. So
You guys sound like a power team for sure. And I love that. Faith's question also kind of piggybacked off that. And it was, how does it feel to carry that down from now? You worked together growing up in a family, you worked with your brother, and now your kids get to work with you.
it's very rewarding. I kind of alluded to it. You kind of feel like you did something right if they even want to be around you as grown
Aw.
adults, right? So you kind of feel good about that part. But for them to want to do what you did, but I have to be honest, my oldest, I wasn't sure what he was going to end up doing, and he went and got a degree and uh, called me when he was doing his internship at a hospital. And he called me. He said, "Dad, I don't like this. I want to sell real estate." So he went and got his license after that. But I remember my youngest, I remember it like it was yesterday, getting in his car and we were driving up the street, and it was about this time of year. So it's probably 7 o'clock at night and it was dark. And he told me he wasn't at college yet. He was getting ready to go. But he told me he'd decided what he wanted to do with his life. He was going to be a doctor. Okay. And he told me, "I want to sell real estate." I literally almost threw up in the car. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, you're going to college, you were going to be a doctor, and now you want to sell real estate. I'm like, it made me sick. But then it made me proud because it meant, sorry, Brian, it just really, I'm like, bleh. Uh, it made me think, good God, but this is the most talented kid. That my children are all talented. Uh, it's an honor to get that opportunity. And what other business can we do that? And everyone can make enormous sums of money, be happy together. By the way, we travel together, we do vacations and stuff together. My brother and his wife and my wife, and everyone gets along. We have a great time. It is a challenge. Brian and Heather know Michael. It's a challenge to get him to not talk business when we're on the beach. But I tell him, okay, today's no business day, none. So, but that's what I would say about that. Just figure out what lanes you're each going to stay in. You meet together, and so everyone knows what's going on. We have a weekly meeting to where everybody's on the same page. And where do you need help? Where can I support you? But
Yeah.
stay out of the other one's way.
I love that.
And I appreciate that answer. And thank you, McKenna. I know Rebecca had her hand up, so we'll open up to her question as well.
Well, I kind of put it back down because he sort of answered it. My daughter is currently in real estate pre-licensing courses and is going to be getting her license. And I have just stepped back into active real estate. I've had my license for 26 years, but have been in the leadership lane for several. So my question was, what piece of advice do you have for a parent bringing their child into the business? And she'll be on my team, even though I'm not in the model of bringing somebody on my team yet.
Right.
I'll be raising her up in the admin operations side while I'm teaching her the business, but I want to maintain our relationship.
No, absolutely. I literally just got back with the thing Lance Loken and all of us were at. I was teaching them something called the feedback formula. It was how you got to tell people the truth. But what I would tell her is straight up front, hun, here's how it's going to be. I'm going to be harder on you than I would be on anybody else. What anybody in my team knows, if they had the last name Hern, it meant they got all the crap that nobody else wanted to do. Because you get so much better if you have to do that stuff. You say you're going to have her on the admin side. Is that what you're going to do with her to start with?
Yeah, I'm going to teach her the business through the back end, and she'll go
That's
on
great.
to learn it. But yeah.
Yes. Yes. My wonderful coach in the beginning, Mandy, said if you're training someone to do listings with you, it's probably going to take 2 years to do that. So literally tell her, give her those expectations, set the expectations up front, and let her know you're the boss, right? Right. That you're, unless you're setting it up a different way.
Oh, I'm the boss.
Right. So let her know you're the boss, and that someday we're going to build something that's going to be yours, and you're going to take care of me while I'm sitting somewhere, right, on a beach. So be open to that feedback, not criticism, but the feedback that I'm going to give you, because I want you to win. I want you to have an incredible life. And that's how I would structure it. I think you're smart to put her in that role first, because she's going to appreciate all the hard work that goes into everything on the back end. She'll appreciate the people that are helping you both later when you're a successful team and doing hundreds of transactions a year. And she will also respect the fact that you took the time to train her personally, because that is what it takes. It takes a lot of time. And I know, being in leadership, you know exactly how hard it is to convey that. But tell her all that stuff up front. And with several of the couples that I coach, I make them come up with I call it a security word. Okay. When you're getting a little too like businessy, or we shouldn't be talking about it, or this is upsetting, you can throw this word out to where it's kind of like giving you the stop sign, because now you kind of went from the boss to you're being my parent, or you're offending me, or whatever it might be. When it's husband and wife, it gets really dicey sometimes, potentially. So they throw that word out. One of them, they came up with their word was Saint James, because I kept them from killing each other. So but it works. It works to have that to where you kind of know, hey, maybe I am coming across a little harsh, because you will be harder on her than you would if I joined your team. You'll be rougher on her, and she needs to know that and say, hey, if I get to being too much. My good buddy Abe Shreve has one. His family calls it executive mode. Dads are in executive mode when he's getting too businessy or whatever. There has to be a time to turn it off. I know it sounds like she's a grown girl, but just that would be my advice to you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I like when you mentioned husband and wife. Brian and Heather looked at each other. We're like, no, we don't get on each other's nerves.
Never. We would never do that.
I'm
Well,
sure.
we are blessed, and we appreciate you jumping on this call for us. And is there anything we can do to help you before we leave here today?
No, you've given back to me just because I love doing this. I love Brian and Heather, and appreciate all of you being on here. And of course, you can say some prayers for the Chiefs to turn their stuff around. But other than that,
Go Birds.
Yeah, whatever. Other than that, some referrals to Kansas City would be wonderful. Yeah. But
All
reach
right.
out. If you need anything, reach out. I'm happy to help, happy to share anything I've got with you. Okay.
Beautiful.
Terrific.
Thanks, James.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
James.
Thank you for mentioning the Chiefs.
Tell Michael we said hi.
I will do so. Thanks, guys.
Cheers,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.